There's a very famous experiment that elephant catchers play. This is how the experiment usually goes. The elephant catchers hunt down the elephants for their tusk and tie their legs together with ropes. Now, the elephant will spend the next whole week, the full days and nights, trying to free his legs from the rope. But the ropes are so tight and strong that the elephant simply can't escape them. But after 1 week, the elephant catchers take the strong ropes off the elephant's legs and replace it with a thin string. Even though the ropes have been taken off the elephant's legs, but the elephant still feels as though it can't escape the thin rope, because the 7 days during which it was in ropes, it brainwashed its mind into thinking that it's not worth trying to break out now. So even with the thin rope around its feet, the elephant won't try to escape. This is how limiting beliefs work as well. There could have come a time in your life when you were down bad and low, but you still carry around that scarce and unhealthy mindset years after. Just like that elephant, you refuse to accept the new reality that it's very much possible to escape now because the 7 days are over. This is what you need to remember. At some point in our life, we all become the elephant, and we all go through those 7 days of extreme pressure. But that's no excuse to live in that reality forever. In fact, most times when you think that a girl is out of your league, that in itself is a limiting belief that holds you back from approaching the 10 out of 10 girls. By thinking that she is in a different league altogether, you are holding your own self back. And that is the greatest sin you can ever commit as a man. Remember, we all have perceptions about ourselves. These are thoughts about yourself that have been crafted over years and months. They form because of past experiences, social media, or comments by other people. Especially as a young man, it's your responsibility to start to undo these years of damage and be on the lookout for new limiting beliefs that might form in your mind. So coming back to the actual conversation, how do you remove limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Let us discuss 4 ways to do exactly that and move on in life. Number 1, take responsibility. Most men never achieve their goals because they never take responsibility for their life. Period. Taking responsibility for things simply means to understand that everything is in your own control. This is the greatest secret of all successful men. Instead of blaming others, they take the responsibility of results and efforts on their own self. Why? Because they know things are in their control and not the other way around. Let's say you lost a sport match. It's very easy to start blaming the other players for playing dirty or screaming at your teammates. But it takes a mentally grounded and strong man to own up to the loss and study why they lost and where they went wrong. This is what you call an external locus of control. It's when you think of life as happening for you, not to you. So master your emotions, learn from failures, make smarter decisions, and work toward your goals, no matter what. Period. Number 2, change your self-talk. You may spend your whole life blaming others for not supporting you, while in reality, you are the biggest person who doesn't support your own self. This is where self-talk comes in. Especially if you are young, it's easy to dismiss this as some type of unnecessary rubbish. But the effects of self-talk become more clear with age. You may have seen those people that seem to solve everything. If you give them the hardest task, they will say, "Oh, it's too easy," before even solving the problem. But the other person might talk down on their own self and say, "Oh, I will never be able to do that. It's too hard." With each phrase you say, you are essentially training your subconscious in the way it should talk to you as well. In the future, when a problem arises, your subconscious will never look to you to solve the problem. Instead, it will tell you the same thing you told yourself years ago. Your subconscious will remind you that you are not good enough and should rather allow someone else to take the lead. So remember, your mind is like a mirror. It reflects back everything that you teach it. If you train your mind through good self-talk to uphold you as a leader, then it will do exactly that. You are the architect of your life and capable of anything. So let go of the limiting beliefs that hold you back. Number 3, look for the positive. This one is easier said than done. In fact, we have all heard it since childhood that we should look for the positive, but we never do. We become so used to looking at the negative things around us and convincing ourselves that this sad reality is something you just need to get used to. Media, news, friends, colleagues, and family all influence what we believe to be true. But here's the harsh reality. Your deepest fears are from traumatic events and childhood memories. To get rid of your limiting beliefs, you need to find out the source of them. With that said, don't take this as an excuse to bash people who caused you trouble in your childhood. Instead, fix unhealthy patterns in your life with virtue. It's also worth mentioning that social media will be your worst enemy while you try to look for the positive and get your life back together. Social media is a lie where people post their best moments and leave out the reality that life is not always perfect. So don't look to some hashtag power couple or human to set your standard of what is perfect. Build your own perfection. Number 5. Determine ways to overcome worst-case scenarios. It may sound counterproductive, but when you will think of the absolute worst-case scenarios, you will realize that you will still be okay if that happens. Think of a man who changed directions in his business, but failed miserably. He created a product or offered a new service that no one bought. The worst-case scenario for him would be going in a completely different direction, or developing a product his customers did not like. But he may get a job if this happens, or he may still be working part-time. He may have skills and experience that can help him earn some cash. He would not go bankrupt or start living on the street. If anything like this happens to one of you, you should always consider that you started this business to do what you were passionate about, not to please other people. You should provide everything to the customers who approach you for your product. Never care about criticism and failure. You will be okay in every situation. So learn from the failure and get some experience. When it comes to business, most men never even take the first step because they think that their family and friends will judge them for it. Well, think of this worst-case scenario. Let's say the people start judging you, or they leave hateful comments, or just stop following you. Ask yourself, has that not been of greater benefit to you? Because the fake people in your life have come forward and shown their true colors. You can now better spend that time with those that would rather support you. So stay true to yourself. Always look to the positive, but also pay a little attention to the worst-case scenario, and you will quickly realize that it's not too bad after all. As the saying goes, blessing is disguised in everything. This will help you snap yourself out of the scarcity mindset and start moving in the direction of the abundance mindset. By the way, don't forget to show some love.